sir. We all that. Very nice.
Right, in the area of Princestown, Stephens College, and we're here to attend a vigil. So I hear
it's a very saddening experience. We're here for that student who would have succumbed to bullying in the school system, and he decided to end his life because of peer pressure. We're here this afternoon. We're here to lend support to the village and the family members in the area of Princestown. Thank you.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays.
Now I see you in a better place.
See you in a better place.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Because the teachers and the principals and the administrators in these schools not doing their jobs. Their first job is to protect every child that comes through that gate. The second job is to educate them. The first job is to protect them. And Jayden's parents have spoken to these people. This little boy's blood is on all of their hands. They are responsible. And if we do not act as a people, more little children will die needless, stupid deaths and break their parents' hearts. This is unacceptable. Like everything else that is wrong with this country, this is another one that is just so easy to fix and so damn unacceptable.
Nobody was living for them protected on this compound. The teachers leave what they have to do to make sure bullying does not exist. When I heard James pass a St. Stephen, I felt proud. Because when I pass this building every day and I look down at that structure, I remember the pillars of our educators.
This evening we're here at St. Stephen's College, a school that is steeped in history in the constituency of Princestown. But we're not here under happy circumstances. It's very tragic circumstances where young Jayden Lalcan would have attended for the last 4 years. Jayden and his family are a stone's throw away from the premises of the school. The entire Princestown community came out tonight in solidarity with the family, knowing fully well that despite any marches, any vigils, any words of condolences and comfort, nothing will be able to bring back Jayden. But this evening was more symbolic for us because this school, while we stand at its doorsteps, must now move from being a symbol of bullying, torment, torture. It must now become a symbol of justice for Jayden Lalcan. Jayden Lalcan's story is not very different from many children in this national school system. However, the outcome is what distinguishes Jayden from many other children who have been bullied. Jayden has endured 4 years of being hounded like an animal. When you hear the horrific stories and the parents, the teachers, members of the PTA, children who attend this school are now sharing their stories, hoping that they will remain anonymous because of fear of reprisal. It really paints the picture of how far bullying in our nation's schools have reached. I reached out to the Minister of Education on Saturday seeking assistance and help for the family. In a very flippant, uncaring and callous response, the minister, who first and foremost who should have responded like a mother, far less for a minister, up to today has not really offered any sympathy, any comfort, or most importantly, any support, whether it is counseling, whether it's government support, in whatever form or nature. And we are standing with the parents because any other child that goes through this, whether it's at St. Stephen's College or in any other school in Trinidad and Tobago, we are seriously concerned for them. Far too often we hear all of these horror stories, we have all these candlelight vigils, and then nothing happens. That's why I spoke with Mrs. Pisabi-Sessa on Sunday, and she has been very strong in her condemnation, but also in her response for affirmative action in dealing with with bullying in our nation's school. So the very first thing that we will do is take a private member's bill to the Parliament, because our laws in Trinidad and Tobago are very lax. There are insufficient provisions in existing legislation, and today I spoke about the Children's Authority. While the police will tell us that there are provisions in the Children's Authority Act to deal with instances like this, it is based up into interpretation. We must now have the Jayden Lalcan Anti-Bullying Act of Trinidad and Tobago. And Mrs. Pisabi-Sessa will be at the funeral tomorrow. She's expected to be there at 12:30, and I'm sure that she will, without going into politics, because this is not about red, yellow, orange, green, blue. This is about a child's life who has been snuffed out because he felt defenseless and he had nowhere and no one to turn to, because the institutions failed him, the lowest failed him, and those who were in charge of protecting him. A school is supposed to be one of the safest places, a sanctuary, a haven, and he could not even find that here. Here was a place that will always be a symbol of where Jayden Lalcan was hounded to his death.
You know, I was surprised to hear that they would have said that the Minister of Education is a reach out, that real sad.
The minister's exact response to me, she sent me a text message when I said, Minister, I need to have a conversation. Can you kindly, let's have a bipartisan approach to dealing with this, because I'm not interested in the politics, I'm interested in getting help dealing with this situation. There are allegations that the school, the principal, was very much aware of what was happening at the school, and this was been going on for the past 4 years. And in a very flippant, callous and uncaring manner, the minister's response was, oh, how tragic, I will ask for a report. That to me was a dagger in the heart, because this is somebody's child. A mother who has carried this child for 9 months. The minister is a mother herself, and I'm almost certain had she been in this situation, she would have never responded like that. I have one child. Many of us have one children. Jayden Lalcan is an only child. I can never imagine what it is like to have carried that child, to have seen that child grown from infant to adolescent, and then to have to lose that child under these circumstances. So
I would make a quote just now. 4 years
this has been happening for the past 4 years. I think his aunt spoke earlier where she spoke about the instances of bullying. They only discovered the extent to the bullying because Jayden had hid it so well. There's a reason why Jayden hid it. Jayden tried to protect his family. Those who are alleged to be a part of the group that bullied Jayden, their family is notorious in Princeton. They are well-known people, they are well-connected people, and there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek that is playing out where people are speculating and so on. But in the fullness of time, we will continue to stand with the family to ensure that they get justice. But it cannot be that you are demanding justice but you're afraid, you're playing coy. This is about being forceful and upfront and speaking out. I have always promised, when I don't live in this constituency, but I've always promised when I came here to be their voice, whether it is inside of the parliament or outside of the parliament. And that's me keeping my commitment to the people of Princestown and to Jayden Lalcan.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how seamless you're going to do this interview, but I echo a lot of what he said. My biggest concern is that the people most to blame here are the administrators of this school. I said tonight when I was speaking, my sister took her daughter out of a prestige school, Providence, in Port of Spain, and put her in a private school because pleas for protection against bullying was falling on deaf ears. Principals and administrators are not doing their jobs. The first job of an administrator or principal is to protect the children. As a parent, when I drop my child to school, I have to trust that the people in positions of authority in that school are going to protect my child. And what must come out of this now is that there must be legislation that makes it a criminal act to bully somebody. The principal in the United States of America, if you are an administrator or a teacher and you are told of incidents of bullying and you do not take action, you could be charged for facilitating and enabling. And we need those kind of laws in Trinidad. Our children are in danger. Bullying has become a national disease. And this little boy, this little beautiful child, shouldn't have had to die because the people who were responsible for looking after him, and the state to some extent, because the minister knows that there is an epidemic of bullying and they are doing nothing about it. It is happening in the schools, and that is where it has to be addressed, and she's the minister in charge of the schools, and if she can't do the job, she should be removed. And somebody put there who understands that this is supposed to be a safe haven for children, and it is not right now.
Now, you would have just heard the video with Barry, and he would have said 4 years, and apparently like the family attached a prominent set of people. What you have to say to that in terms of the system that is around to protect the children?
Tomorrow we're going to a funeral in a place where we were here as a political party years ago, and we met Jayden Lalcan, and we have a picture of me and him doing a little thumbs up. Nice little boy. The family are strong members and supporters. So I take it personally that, and I told the dad, I said, why you all didn't reach out? He said, we didn't know. So all of us was in the dark. We couldn't act. Hearing people say that the parents of the bullies are connected in society is disgusting. I vomit on that. I say that it is time we stop protecting sacred cows in the 1% and sacred cows in the criminal 1%. And Trinidad needs to put in office people who will take the fight to these people, drag them out of their safe havens and eject them from civil society, because they are destroying Trinidad and Tobago like they destroyed that little boy's life till he took it.
Again, my condolences to you and the family. I want to assure you, we have launched an investigation. I've spoken to the investigators personally, and that investigation will be expedited, and then we will do what we have to. So again, just offer the condolences to the parents. Peace out.
Yeah. Do you know they sent a booking of flowers for us this morning? And I asked Andrew, I said, what is this? When I went to the school, I said, Andrew, how come you didn't reach by my house? You are 5 minutes away from me. I could call him Andrew because I went to school with him, right? You found out Thursday morning. At no time in your Thursday you can reach by my gate. Friday you're not here. Where is the empathy? Where is the remorse? You know you reach here Friday, you can ask him, I say, here, take that PR, damage control. Is that what this is? It hit the newspapers yesterday and this morning, and there's a bunch of flowers in the back of my table. Why are you sending me flowers today? The funeral is not today. Condolences is not good enough for me, you know. I know the standard of my school. I am proud of it, and this is definitely not the standard. Clifton Dikoto right now is probably turning in his grave. Because this is definitely, all the past principal of St. Stephen's, Clifton Dikoto, Linda Dikoto, Melissa Ramcharan, Yvonne Sweet, the people who are powerhouses in St. Stephen will be very ashamed at this time because we do not tolerate this in our school. We don't. We handle things immediately. We don't do an investigation, wait for a report, wait till the students submit. So what? The child has to suffer in the meantime? So you see, they have been doing this so long, I've been hiding it for so long. But what is in the dark must come to the light, and it is very sad that Jayden has to be the one to raise this issue. You understand? But they have to deal with me. Nelson Mandela says, raise a point. You have to be willing to stand up for an ideal, even if it means death. I am not afraid to stand up for this cause. Because at the end of the day, this child is a super intelligent child. When he was in New York States, he went to gifted schools because he was way ahead of his classes. Even here, when he was in primary school, the work was so easy for him. He passed for his first choice. And he has so many, and it's the same thing inside. He has 3 awards to collect right now. Because he's been the best student in his class for 3 consecutives. Let's just tell you the standard of this child. He reads books like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Atomic Habits. He is a very mature student for his age. Do you know many people talk to Jayden and they come and say, Alex, you know, when I talk to that little boy, I feel like a stripper. I feel like I dance. You know? Because that is naturally, I always knew in my heart and soul that Jayden would make a mark on his body. He does coding. He builds computers. He develops software programs. He can do anything with computers. He wants to be an AI specialist. He went to New York with his dad this year, and he visited colleges to get brochures to plan out his whole future. And we made a joke and said to him, Jayden, well, you can work for NASA. He's like, what? Maybe I'll think about that. That's way below his standard. And he said, I will make a difference in this work. He had the capability. So his light went out. In St. Stephen's College, he basically was a candle in the wind. He could not win that game because he never had a stutter. When he started that school, he developed that stutter out of brain. I realized that no. Imagine when you get up to answer a question and you stutter, the whole class laugh at you, even the teacher. And I heard from his mother this morning, and she was, you know, as time goes by, she's now remembering things and starting to put pieces together. It's a puzzle for her. And she was telling me one time Jay came when he was being bullied, and he told her about it. And the teacher said to him, well, I'm not your mother. And she said, Jay, are you sure that's what your teacher told me? He said, yes, I am not your mother. I'm not here to take care of you.
I'm sorry? He was 15 years old, right? He was 15. So he was in Form 4. So, and I started in Form 1. Started in Form 1. What, how did they bully him? What were they telling him? What they were doing him?
Well, he had a stutter problem. So they would laugh at him. They would tell him go back to his country. And they would be calling him names.
What kind of names did they call him?
Like he walk like gay, speak like a gay, he act like a faggot, stuff like that.
And so when that happened, did he come back and tell you?
Yes, he did.
And what happened then? Did you all go to the school about the issue?
Yes, I did. I went to the school and I spoke to the form teacher about it.
And what happened then?
Nothing then really happened then. It just continued.
So it continued from Form 1 to Form 4?
Straight to Form 4.
And you all made repeated complaints to the school?
Yes, I did.
When the form teacher did nothing, what happened next?
Well, it had an incident in the school, and then I went to school and I made a report.
Can you tell us about the incident?
Yes, there was a kid who had been bullying him recently, and then he attacked him. He attacked him the Thursday. He started calling him names. He attacked him the Thursday where he snatched his mask off his face, and with the reflect of my son, he punched back. So he got lashed by his nose. And after that, he started sending threats to him, which we have record of.
So the threats were sent.
Not direct to him, was on Instagram. That was sent back to my son.
So
Okay, first I'm gonna say, after the incident that happened in school the Thursday, my son came home and told me what happened. We had messaged the form teacher about the incident, right? And her response was, call the school on Friday. I did not call the school. I went to the school. I was there by 8:30. The principal wasn't there, and I spoke to the dean. The dean promised me nothing is going to happen to my son.
bullying in schools. How do you feel about it?
Well, the bullying in school, nothing is being done. They're like just taking everything for granted. When the students complain about it, it's just being brushed aside. They're not taking further steps to prevent anything from happening.
What do you think should be done in cases of bullying? What should schools do?
Could my husband answer? You could finish it off. Right now, I really don't know what to say, what to think. To be honest, it's really tough because it's not today my son is being bullied. I lose my son because of the bullying. Right? I brought this attention to the school. Nothing was being done. Even the dean who I spoke to said she's going to call in both parents after I make the complaint. 4 days went by. I never got a call. I lose my only child because still nothing is being done. The school is not holding accountability for his death.
Has the school reached out to you?
No. I went to the school on Friday because they never reached out to me. And it was unfair what had happened to my son because of bullying. My son was scared to even come out of the classroom to go to the washroom because he was so in fear of these kids that was bullying him.
Here's an overview of Jayden Lalcan's story. Jayden Lalcan, a 15-year-old student at St. Stephen's College in Princestown, Trinidad, died by suicide after allegedly being bullied for years. The school held a peace walk to honour Jayden's memory and raise awareness about the impact of bullying on youth. The Ministry of Education assigned social workers to work with Jayden's family and called on the public to stop threatening the teenage boy accused of bullying Jayden. It appears that Jayden's death has sparked a national conversation about bullying and its devastating consequences. The community is coming together to mourn his loss and advocate for change to prevent similar tragedies from happening in the future.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live from the Workers' Rights Network. Now, we was there on the scene yesterday, and we would have picked up on some information that we will share with you in the future. So stay tuned for this unveiling event. And the sacred cows that they want to protect from not letting this information be forthcoming, the many threats that was sent and the gangsterism that was forced upon the family. We are privileged with these information. And if this is the way the school system is being run in Trinidad and Tobago, whereas people is afraid or are afraid or respect certain entities that they could continue to do wrong things, we are going nowhere as a society. You see something, say something. Now, to talk explicitly to the Minister of Education, this is a direct neglect of facts that are already there within the public domain. The minute you see all these school fights taking place in the schools, understand what will take place. Because not all children are the same. Not all children deal with problems the same way. There are people, according to statistics and data, will choose to commit suicide because of that. Because the fighting explicitly I'm talking about. You see it abuse, peer pressure, bullying. These are things in this case it end up where a student, rather than, take other means, he would have committed suicide. And when we will see that the powers that be paying attention to these statistics, you see in school fights taking place all the time. Why are we not paying attention? Why are we not searching for the relative data concerning that? And just to give you a few, I didn't want to go into this explicit details concerning this. From 2002 till present, suicide rates amongst children and adolescents in Trinidad and Tobago have shown concerning trend. A study covering 2013 to 2016 reported an average of 166.7 suicide annually, with hanging being the most common method. The country ranks third in the English-speaking Caribbean for suicide rates. And these not information that the Minister of Education should pay attention to? Or you ain't concerned that it have all these set of fights, and what is the outcome that could take place? Again, to dive right back into it. The country, right. Factors contributing to these rates includes untreated mental illness, trauma, and substance abuse. There is a pressing need for comprehensive data collection and preventative strategies to add to this public health crisis. It is a public health crisis, and there are more data that should be added. So all the factors that interplay concerning that, we must take initiative as to correct this situation. Substance abuse among children in Trinidad and Tobago is a growing concern. We know that. The police officer that would have taken a bag from a child and would have opened the bag and would have seen things like lighter and other paraphernalias. Are we not paying attention? Is it good enough that when something happens, we just show up and just show we face? And our country, the children, the youth, the backbone of the country is being snuffed away. To go into a few. Trinidad and Tobago growing concern. Alright, substance abuse. Factors such as mental health issues and sociomatic challenges. Socio-economic challenges. And that big word, socio-economic challenges, is simply the factors that are wrong any individual that is causing these things. You might have certain amenities. Many of you outside there may have access to certain resources and the rest of the population don't. And at the same time, we just say, boy, it's better we just, end it. Many of us just say that. These things are a growing concern. When the crime started reaching up, that factor that is reaching our children, we know we're onto something very bad. Reports indicate that many youths exhibit aggressive behavior. The same things that we are saying, the fighting in the school system. Why? A matter of fact, reports indicate that many youths exhibit aggressive behavior, increased anxiety, and educational deficiency, often linked to family environments where substance abuse is prevalent. Why these children are getting on aggressive? None of us are smart enough to add 2 and 2 together and say, hey, something wrong here. Oftentimes we see children, many videos, with children fighting outside the schools. And imagine some of them can't fight because a next child might be bigger than a next one, more bigger and formidable in size. What do you think will take place? It didn't take a rocket scientist to understand that. So, prevalent. Additionally, studies highlight that mental health disorders, including substance abuse disorders, are significant risk factors for self-harm and suicide among this demographic. Addressing these issues require targeting environments and support system within the schools and community. So if at the end of the day you want to fix these issues on them, it's the same thing concerned members of society as myself, Sheldon Candice Edwards, all of us, we advocating for these things to take place because we see what some of you are not seeing afar off. And we come in on a platform here for we to boast, for we to say, we get the idea, we get the point, and so forth. It's for you to open your eye and join us in singing this chorus. Something needs to be done in Trinidad and Tobago. The present government seems to not take notice of certain things. And the onus is on us for we to change this system as is. The onus is on us. Let me stop blaming the government now. Let me move them. They do what they're supposed to do. Let us move them. This could be you. Put yourself in this position. You come home my evening, your parent or your mother would say, Jordan, we come in the room and we find him there. Put yourself in in this position as a parent. You walk into a room and you see your son dead, hanging. And only to hear up to further investigations, this will take place. Or you have been complaining about a situation, and at the end of the day, boom, you walk in and see your son. Now, you have to go in to ask yourself a lot of dialogue going down the line. I would have complained. I told my son to walk away. I didn't tell him carry a knife in the school and stab them. I didn't come and do anything. But yet still, for doing the correct thing, for expecting not more than the system, not more than the system should offer, but expecting what they ought to put out. They still ain't doing that. And here we're on the top of it, they're getting paid. And when they go along now at certain lines, we paying them, I paying them. And this is what takes place. In any country, the Minister of Education would have had to make a public statement and in some cases fired from the job. We had to take things serious now. So again, I ain't going to take up too much of your time anymore concerning this situation because We have a show later. Join us later at 7:30 p.m. Justice Advocates program, in which we have every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays concerning various issues. Again, my name is Renison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform. Thanks for joining us on such short notice. Something needs to be done, and you need to take a stand. Anything after this, I'm blaming you, the parent. And we don't just let this thing be a match. So goodbye to everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Thank you.